we'll move on to our next presentation from our observing chair, David Hoskin, newly appointed. And wonderful, welcome, David, and we're looking forward to your first presentation in that role. Tell us what's up in January.
Okay, thanks, Judy. Let's see if I can share. Okay, can everyone see that?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. I'll leave my video off so that I preserve bandwidth. Full disclosure, Dave Chapman was kind enough to provide me with his slide decks from 2021. So what I've done for this presentation is update and modify, slightly added a few new wrinkles for my own presentation. Still waiting for my RASC Observer's Handbook, although again, Dave Chapman was nice enough to send me a PDF of the US version of what's up for January, so that gave me a bit of help. So as it's probably obvious to everyone, we're past the winter solstice, days are getting longer. So the sunset on New Year's Day was at from Halifax was at 4:44 p.m. By the end of the month, the sun will be setting at 5:21 p.m. Astronomical twilight is moving forward by about 30 minutes. So we're as the days get longer, we're losing some of that wonderful night sky viewing and imaging time, but I guess on the plus side, eventually the days will also be getting warmer. So in the 1st of January, put a I'll do that. Trying to find my laser pointer. There we go. So just under 9 hours of sunlight on January 1st, and nearly 10 hours, approaching 10 hours by the end of the month. Solar activity, some interesting stuff happening. This sunspot, AR 2924. This is from spaceweather.com, and I grabbed this image this morning. This particular sunspot has quadrupled in size since it first developed, and it's as you can probably guess, it's lining up, starting to line up nicely with Earth. It hasn't yet yielded any solar flares, but the magnetic field is apparently in the process of changing, so there may be some flares coming in the next few days. The other interesting thing to keep an eye on is one of NASA's solar observing satellites is currently looking at a couple bright UV patches behind the eastern limb of the sun, and those will be rotating into view in the next day or so, and they are likely to result in some nice sunspots. So if you've got a white light filter or a Herschel wedge, definitely worth having a look at the solar disk. There's some sunspots currently in view, and maybe a few more going to be coming along. The moon this month. So we were treated to a nice, very nice crescent moon at the start of the month. This new moon is the Tom Cod spawning moon. And let's see if I can get the video. Okay, was everyone able to hear that?
No.
No. Okay. So the technical issues. Oh, now we've got. Now, how do I shut this off? Okay. So things to look out for. The crescent moon is near Saturn, or was near Saturn, I guess, earlier in the week, and then near Jupiter. First quarter is tomorrow, which I think the clouds are going to be back, so we probably won't be able to see it. Full moon is January 17th at 11:50 UTC, and I guess something to a nice photo op if you're an early riser and the skies cooperate is January 29th. The moon, the crescent moon, the waning crescent will be very close to Mars. And that should give a really nice nice picture. Certainly visible nicely within the field of view of a pair of binoculars. The moon, things to look at in first quarter. So tomorrow night, if we're blessed with some clear skies. Again, at first quarter, the meridian is down the middle, so there's lots to see around first quarter. Different mare and craters. This is a good time to fill in some of those, explore the moon goals if you're working on the explore the moon or explore the universe certificates. So see if you can observe 3 different mare and 3 different craters with binoculars at some point around January 9th. I think we do have some clear nights coming later in the week, last time I checked. So that would be appropriate. Planets in January. Mercury is currently visible in the western evening sky. It's reasonably bright, magnitude minus 0.7. Its greatest eastern elongation was yesterday at just over 19 degrees. So it's as high as it's going to get in the evening sky for the next little while. On January 10th to the 15th, Mercury will be near Saturn, with the closest approach to Saturn being around 5:30 p.m. on January 13th. Venus is getting very hard to see. It's very low in the west southwestern evening sky, and will reappear in mid-January in dawn twilight, climbing to about 31 degrees elongation by the end of the month. This is so here's a challenge going back to Mercury and Saturn. They'll be very close together, so see if you can see them with binoculars as they come to their closest approach. Mars is very low currently in the southeast in dawn twilight sky. It's reasonably bright, magnitude 1.5. And on January 29th, as I said previously in the moon shots, it'll be 2 degrees south of the waning crescent moon. So a nice photo op. Jupiter is gradually sinking towards the horizon. It can still be seen in the southwest evening twilight sky. Saturn is also getting quite low in the evening sky and will pretty much disappear after mid-month. Uranus is currently in Aries, magnitude 5.7. You can see this ice giant with the unaided eye from a dark site. And Neptune is in the northeastern part of Aquarius. At magnitude 7.9, it's not an unaided eye object, but is a nice binocular and telescope target if you can identify it by star hopping or have a go-to function on your telescope. I put this in because the What's Up was uploaded at the start of the month, and I was hoping for some clear skies for the quadranted meteor shower, but I didn't see any meteors. It was cloudy at the peak, which was January 3rd, and I think I had a look early morning, January 5th, and for about half hour, and I didn't see anything, at least from the city. So hopefully someone was able to see some of the meteors in this shower. There was, because of the new moon, there was no moonlight, so faint meteors would have been easy to see if the skies had cooperated. Winter constellations are quite prominent. Auriga, Gemini, Taurus, Orion, Canis Major, and Canis Minor are all visible around 10 o'clock, 10:30 from Halifax in the southeastern sky. Again, these are constellations to tick off if you're working on your Explore the Universe certificate. Winter stars associated with these constellations: Sirius, brightest star, Capellan, Rigel, Procyon, Betelgeuse, Aldebaran, Castor, Pollux, all great naked eye or unaided eye objects, easily seen even from the light pollution of a city. I can see them all from my backyard in Clayton Park. And it's good to learn these stars because they're used for sky alignment for the SynScan and the Celestron equivalent apps if you have a telescope with go-to function. Some winter deep sky objects to keep an eye on. There's a couple challenges here. The first one is Kemble's Cascade. This is an asterism found in the constellation Camelopardalis. It consists of, this is a picture I took of the cascade a couple of years ago. It consists of a line of more than 20 5th to 10th magnitude stars, and they're quite colorful. And they culminate in an open star cluster, NGC 1502. So the challenge is, if you have binoculars, to find Kemble's Cascade, and if you have a telescope, have a look at the star cluster at the bottom of the cascade. This particular asterism was named in honor of Father Lucien Kemble, who was a Franciscan friar who described this cascade of stars in a letter to the astronomer Walter Scott Houston. And Campbell was able to see this line of stars with his 7x35 binoculars. So it's an easily seen object. Other winter deep sky objects are M37, M35, the Pleiades, which we just had a nice talk on, the Hyades, of course, the Orion Nebula, and M47. Another challenge for you is if you're looking at the Orion Nebula, which is a wonderful object in binoculars or a wide field telescope, have a look at the trapezium cluster, which is this area of bright stars. This is a star forming region, and you should be able to pick out 4 stars with a low power eyepiece in a telescope. But if the scene is quite good and you're able to move up to a higher power eyepiece, see if you can see the 6 stars in the trapezium. So as I said, A, B, C, D are pretty easy to see. E is the next easiest, and the hardest one to resolve away from the brighter star C is F. So that's an interesting challenge for the coming month. And with talking about Algol, the demon star in constellation Perseus. This is an eclipsing variable star, and the maxima is, you'll see at magnitude 2.1 on January 24th. It'll reach its minima, magnitude 3.4, at around 7:13 on the evening of January 25th. So if you look at it the evening of the 24th, then have another look at it the 25th and compare it to some nearby stars, you should see it dim. And then the next evening on the 26th, it'll have brightened again. So the entire eclipse lasts just under 12 hours. And there's the period between minima is 2 days, 20 hours, and 49 minutes, shown in this graph. And this is an artist's conception of what the eclipsing binary Algol looks like. And an interesting animation here showing the process of the eclipse, which causes the star to dim and then brighten. Now, the nice thing about Algol is that you can see it at its brightest and its dimmest over a period of a few days. If you want a greater challenge, there's a Heinz crimson star, also known as R. Leporis, in the constellation Lepus, and this is a carbon star. So this is a star that's near the end of its life. It's a long period Mira variable star. And by long period, I mean it is a long period. The period between its dimmest and its brightest is about 427 days. So you got to be patient for this one. It was observed first by the British astronomer J.R. Hind in 1845, who referred to it as looking like a drop of blood on the against the black sky. And the interesting thing, though, about Hind's crimson star, apart from its brilliant crimson color, is that its magnitude varies quite dramatically from 5.5, which is unaided eye visible from a dark site, to magnitude 11.7, so only visible through a telescope. So that's something to have to at least think about while you're looking at Algol. And if you have a telescope, see if you can identify and find Hind's crimson star. So that's all for this month. Be happy to take any questions.
Any questions for David? None came through the chat, but if anyone has a question, he's certainly open to it. Just remember to unmute yourself before we begin talking. Okay, well, there doesn't appear to be any questions, Dave.
Okay.
Thank you so much for this.
I will stop the share.
Yeah,
There
that's
you go.
great. And and certainly your presentation is on our website. So if anyone wants to review this throughout the month, it is certainly there. And you can review it via the video on our YouTube channel as well.
Yeah, and if you access it, you should be able to click the links and get the proper pronunciation of the Tom Cod Swami.
Yeah, that's always challenging through Zoom, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.